Hello out there to all of my fellow gold diggers. This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. And today we are going to be talking about a hot topic that I have some strong views on, and it's whether or not a college degree is going to equal a good paying job. All right. Now, before we get into it, I have a favor to ask of you. If you have been checking out my content and have not subscribed to the channel yet, I would ask that you please subscribe. I'm trying to hit a goal of getting to 100 subscribers, and I am very, very close to achieving that. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you like what you see and you want to hang around, I encourage you to also subscribe as well as hit the thumbs up button for this video. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I told you this can be a hot topic. It can be a touchy topic or whatever. I have my notes. I'm going to try and stick to my notes because I do have some opinions about this, okay? So I'm going to try and stick to the topic at hand and not go too far off course. Now, before I begin, let me do a disclaimer. Now, I am for college, so this is not a video to bash colleges or anything like that, or to say that I am against the fact that I went to college and I went on to a professional school or that kind of thing. It's not me trying to bash colleges or going to college or whatever, but hopefully it will enlighten people on making their decision on whether or not they choose to go to college and whether or not they need to go to college, because I believe college is not for everyone. And I say that it's not for everyone, not only in terms of people being ready for college, but some stuff that people want to do, it does not need a college degree. Okay, they don't need to be spending time and trying to acquire a bachelor's or associates or something for some of this stuff that does not require a college degree. And colleges have gotten pretty savvy with trying to make it into pretty much they're a for-profit industry. They're trying to make money, so they'll have degrees and all kinds of stuff and majors, excuse me, not degrees but majors and all kinds of stuff, and some of those majors don't even need to be offered at the college. All right, but like I said, this is a hot topic for me. Let me go back to my notes and see what I'm supposed to be talking about, because I can already tell I'm going off on some of my opinions. But all right, so like I said, college is not for everyone, and we really need to stop selling these kids a pipe dream by making it seem like, hey, you need to go to college, and if you don't go to college, then you just have fallen short. That is not the case. Now, part of the problem is we don't know any better. Now, a lot of people, they might be the first person in their family tree to go to college. I know for me, I was second generation, so I mean, we only been through this a couple of times or whatever. So a lot of it is we just don't know, and we're advocating from a place because that we don't know. But I'm going to come here and tell you today, everybody doesn't need to go to college, okay? At one point in time, college was held in this high regard, and it is still held in a high regard. But at one point in time, going to college did carry more weight, and it did open more doors for you. And that is not to say that it doesn't open doors for you now as well, but it was almost like as soon, all you had to do was say, I have a college degree, and jobs were offered to you, and that is not the case anymore. But I do understand that part of it is that we didn't know any better, and a lot of our, especially coming from being a person of color, a lot of black families, people of color are still trying to figure it out and navigate this stuff, and they are only giving people the information that they have because this is a totally new landscape for them. But yes, don't get into all of this debt, doing something, student loan debt, that kind of stuff, trying to do something, trying to achieve something, and you may not even need to go to college. Now, when I say that, I had said earlier that college, it's a for-profit industry, and even even as we're trying to figure it out as individuals, whether college is for you, college is not for you, is college the best route that you should take, your child should take, all that kind of stuff. And some people, when they were growing up, I recently had someone just tell me when they were growing up, like it was mandatory, like you're going to college, like not going to college was unheard of. And we'll get into that a little bit later as well. But it was just mandatory. It was instilled in you that, hey, this is what you are going to do. It is not an option for you not to do otherwise. You got to go to college. And it is because of the fact, well, this is what I believe. I can't speak for other people, but it's probably because of the fact that college was held in such high esteem, and in the past it was able to open doors for people. But colleges have changed, and we need to recognize that they have changed and that they are trying to get as many people as possible in there so that they can get as most money as possible. Now, I'll give you my example. When I went to college, which was 20 years ago. But for my degree, for those of you who may not know, I'm an optometrist, so then I had to go on to optometry school. But I chose this school that I went to because they advocated that they had a pre-optometry major, and I knew I wanted to be an optometrist, and I knew I was going to want to go to optometry school. So I was like, great. I had narrowed down schools that had pre-optometry specifically listed as one of their majors, and this was one of the schools that did so. Now here I am on track to graduate. This was probably in my sophomore or maybe even my junior year, where I was starting, I want to say it might have been in my sophomore year, where I was starting to look at optometry schools and trying to decide like which ones I was interested in and that kind of stuff, and trying to see what the admissions process was for the optometry schools. As I was doing that, as I was doing my due diligence, I realized, hey, the optometry schools have some classes listed that my school does not have listed as a requirement for me to get my bachelor's degree. There were several classes. It was like 3 classes that were listed. It was like physics 101, physics 102, and I think it was like it was another science course. I think it was like biochemistry or something like that. But it was but physics was definitely one, because guess what? Physics is an integral part of optometry. But guess what? My pre-optometry major at this particular college did not require me to have physics, not one little bit. So I was on track to graduate. I was on track to get my bachelor's degree. I was on as a major in pre-optometry or science or whatever. I was on track for all of that in my school. But guess what? If I would have tried to continue on, I wouldn't have gotten into any optometry schools, because most optometry schools, they wanted that physics class. And my school was a smaller school too. So some of these classes, they were not offered regularly. Like that other science class, it was only offered like, one semester, like maybe it was only offered in the spring semester. So if you didn't get in, you would have to wait like a whole nother year, or try and go to summer school, or try and take it at another class, which is now causing you to get, more student loans, or having you, even if you don't get any student loans, you're having to pay another fee to take this class at another school, all this kind of stuff. So thankfully, I caught it in time. I made my advisor aware of that, like, hey, y'all are saying you have this pre-optometry degree, and these are the classes that these optometry schools are wanting, and it's not even part of my major. Since then, they have changed the curriculum for you in order for you to graduate with a pre-optometry degree, so that it doesn't happen to anyone else. But like I said, if I wasn't doing my own due diligence, I would have graduated and not been able to go to optometry school like I wanted to, because I wouldn't have had the class. And that physics class, like I said, I was not planning on taking physics. I was just doing what was in my little, I don't know if they still have it, little course curriculum. It's like a book that tells you all the classes you need to take if you want to graduate with this major and be able to graduate on time and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, those physics classes, that other science class was not listed. And the physics class, since I had to take 2 parts, that was a year-long class pretty much. So I had to work that into my schedule. And the other science class they were requiring, like at my school, it was not offered every semester. So I had to make sure I signed up for it when it was offered the next time, and make sure I passed these classes and not failed. So, but anyway, so that's what I was saying. Yeah, the colleges, you have to do your own due diligence. Don't think that the colleges are going to have you set up for success. They should have you set up for success so that if you need to go to a graduate school, you should have all of the requirements. But if not, but sometimes that is not the case, and you need to do your own due diligence to find out, because they will take your money and give you that degree, and then you can't find a job, or can't get into your graduate school of choice. Okay. Also, this is something I'm just gonna briefly mention. We really need to stop telling the lie that if you go to school and get good grades, that means that you're going to get a good job. That is a lie. We need to stop hanging grades and people's performance on school in such high regard. Now, that's not to say it's not important, but you can be smart in other ways. Also, I'm going to say this to say the school system, how it's designed, is not designed for all people. Um, and I'll just leave it at that. It's not designed for all people. So if you're not good at taking tests, or if you're more of an auditory learner or something like that, or a visual learner, like if you're a different type of learner than what is set up, then guess what? Not only is the school system not really designed for you, but college might not even be designed for you. And everyone doesn't need to go to college. There are trade schools that you can go to, that you can learn a trade, become a plumber, electrician, those kinds of things. Those skills are very much needed. And guess what? They're good paying jobs, great paying jobs, and you don't have to waste your time, or thinking that you're not going to be somebody or be able to make a good income just because you didn't go to college. There are other things you can do, and you can still make money, and and you're still smart, even though your grades might not reflect that. The last thing I'm going to say about this, and then I'm going to leave it alone, is culturally speaking, as an African American person, I am tired of us trying to prove ourselves and trying to prove that we are smart. We are smart. A school does not need to tell us that we are smart. A degree does not need to tell us that we are smart. And we need to stop putting these degrees and stuff in such high regard in order to validate yourself or validate your children that they are smart. Yes, it's good if they go into these different professions and stuff like that, but let them do stuff that they are interested in doing. I mean, if that's what they're interested in, that's fine, but stop having these schools and colleges and having all these 11 degrees behind your name trying to validate yourself. That's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother topic that I'm not even going to get into. If you're interested in me wanting to do a video about that, you have to let me know in the comment section, because I'm trying to keep this light and encouraging, and that topic in and of itself can be kind of heavy. So that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, now getting back to it, things have changed since my parents went to college, and things like that. The landscape has definitely changed. Back then, I mean, you were lucky if you graduated from high school or whatever. Graduating from high school was an accomplishment. So that is also why once you went on to college, and you automatically got I don't say automatically, but you were more inclined to get a job and get a good paying job, because you were coming from a time where people just barely went to finish high school, or if they did go to high school, it was college or like the military, that kind of stuff. I mean, you really got to think back on these times. Like, women weren't even really working like that or whatever. Like, we weren't even, I don't say allowed to work, but we weren't even working like that. Like, we couldn't even have some of the stuff that we can have, like managing money and all that kind of stuff. That was unheard of. And I know it might seem like, what are you talking about? But it's really not that long ago how the landscape has changed since then. Also, even from the time when I went to school, which was like over 20 years ago, that was when like the technology field and computers and internet and all that kind of stuff was coming out. things have changed. There are other ways you can make money. You see people making money online, doing online businesses. The landscape has changed. And even with that, new careers have come about, marketing, digital marketing, all that kind of stuff. And yes, they do have schools that have those degrees that you could possibly get, but you can also possibly learn some of this stuff on your own and just be good at it, in order to make good money, and you don't need a degree or whatever. And like I said, going back to my disclaimer, I am not against college, but there's more than one way to achieve these goals, and college is not the direct straight and direct path. There are other ways that you can do it that does not involve college and does not involve you possibly getting into so much debt or having to pay so much in tuition. All right, now also in terms of the college, getting a college degree does not equal a good paying job. Is that the job market is so saturated, because that is what we have been advocating. Go to college, go to college, go to college, and all these kids are going to college, and now they're graduating with a degree and they can't even use it, or they look the same among everybody. Like nothing is making them stand out, because they were told all this time, all you got to do is go to college and get a degree and you should get a job. And that's not necessarily the case anymore. So we got to stop telling these people that, and letting them know, what is it costing you in order to get this good job? Like, is it costing you student loan debt? Is it costing you not being able to work because you are in school now and being able to contribute to your retirement? What is it costing you? And is this something that you really even want to do? And also, not only what is it costing you to get the degree, what is it costing you to keep the job? Like, are you having to work long hours just to try and get career advancement? What is it costing you? And also too, going back to, like, what are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove? We accumulate this student loan debt, and then we have to work so much, and then we go out and buy stuff because we say we deserve it. I don't work so hard, I deserve it. Like, what are we doing, y'all? What are we trying to prove? Why are we trying to reward ourselves so much because we have worked so hard? Which goes back to another video that I'm going to link, is where I realized I could live off of $35,000 a year. Like, I don't even need a good paying job, like, because I don't need some of this stuff that they say that I need. And it's like, it goes back to the question that I had asked before, like, whose dream are you living? Are you living your dream, or are you living society's dream? All right, so does a college degree equal a good paying job? Here's the thing. Here are some things that I always tend to ask young people, especially the young people I see in my office or whatever, who are in high school or in college, that kind of thing. And especially the ones who are like, I don't really know what I want to do. So usually I will ask them, like, what do you like to do? And in terms of that, don't place limits on what that could turn into in terms of a career, because I'll get people say, oh, I like working with children, and they want to be a teacher. And it's like, just because you like working with children does not mean that the only path or only career option for you is being a teacher. You could be a daycare worker, you could be a pediatrician. Like, even me in my profession, the majority of the patients I see are children. I work with children every day. We have a good time. So don't just think you like working with children, that the only career option is to be a teacher. You can be a social worker, all kinds of stuff that you can do. So that's one of the questions I ask is, what do you like to do? And don't be limited. Don't limit your jobs just about what you think working with children or working with or doing this could possibly translate to. Then I also challenge them to do a job search. So whatever job they are interested in doing, I say go on Monster or go on Indeed and type that into the search bar for your area and see what are they requiring. Like, what do they have listed out that they want you to do? Is it work experience? Is it just an associate's degree? Is it a bachelor's degree? And then if it's a bachelor's degree, or even if it's an associate's degree, is it a bachelor's degree? Does it say it has to be in, microbiology? Does it say it has to be in English? Does it say it has to be in history? Does it say it has to be in accounting? Or are they just looking for a biology degree, or are they looking for a master's degree and you thought all you needed was a bachelor's degree or whatever? Like, what are they looking for? What are the requirements? What are the certifications that are listed for these jobs that you realize that you will need to get? Also, the last thing I usually ask them to do is to talk to other people who work in the job or field that they are interested in, and ask them what is involved with your job, so that you can get a feel of what all it entails or whatever. You see a teacher, you might think it's one thing and it's something else. You see a lawyer, you think it's one thing, it's actually something else. Like, people see me as an optometrist and they think, oh, all you do is fit people with glasses. And then it's like, no, I work with kids. I help kids who have issues with reading and learning and that kind of thing. And it's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. So talk to people who are in your field, see what else you can possibly do in regards to that career field as well. And the other thing I asked them to do is ask them, what else could you do with this degree? So say if they lost their job today, could they go in another career field, another direction, or are they, pretty much like with my optometry degree, yeah, I won't say all I can do is be an optometrist, but I could teach, work at a university. But ask them those different kinds of questions. And like with my bachelor's degree, there's other stuff that you can do as well. So ask them that and be like, what else could you do with this degree now that we've gotten it? All right, so that is all I have for now. Sorry guys, I try to stick to my notes, but this topic, I won't say is near and dear to my heart. I mean, it is very important to me and I do have some strong opinions on it, so I'm trying to be objective and not let too much of my personal opinions come out. But let me know, what do you think? Does getting a college degree automatically equal you getting into a good job? Share with me your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, that is all I have for now. This is your girl Rita, also known as the Gold Digger. Take care.